Previously, the legendary hero died in a gayest way possible, that is by falling into a pit set up by a level 1 farmer touka, so Hero's party member, Anri, swapped Touka's soul and put him in Hero's body so that he could save the world, and in this journey Touka childhood friend Yuna also joined them. Then the real shock comes in. That Hero Shaun already had his marriage decided, and it was with the third princess Marguerite. She was head over heels for Shaun and Touka was impersonating Shaun. Then Marguerite took Touka out on a date in a citywide masquerade festival, but Anri and Yuna were captured by Leland, who wants to sacrifice everyone in the festival to the devils in the name of so-called peace. So, as the story progresses, Marguerite used Touka as a target to win a year's worth of apples, but she ate it all herself. Because she has a disease in which she needs to eat food to maintain her mana, and after eating she becomes a balloon for 1 hour. Marguerite has gone through some real tough training since her childhood so that she could become a worthy wife for the hero. Then at night she took him away to watch fireworks together. And this the first time Touka saw fireworks in his life, but Marguerite reminded him that they had watched it together just 3 years ago. And there Marguerite caught that something was wrong with the way Hero was, and there comes Isaac and Cerulia sees Touka's skeleton appearance. And Cerulia knew right away that it's a handiwork of necromancer and that indicates that the hero Shaun is dead. So Touka told them how Shaun died a nonsense death by just trying to get meat and falls into a pit. But this truth had seriously hurt Marguerite because she discovered the man she was in love with had died, so she ran away, but Leland found him. And she trusted him blindly because he was her childhood doctor, so she followed him. But another bummer appears as the devils have appeared and Leland tries to take away Marguerite by force in a slum, but there Touka appears because he doesn't want to see her getting hurt. Because he can't let a kind person like Marguerite die, it sparks the feeling of love in Marguerite's heart, but Touka was unable to save her as those undead guards of Leland separated Touka's head. And after that Isaac and Cerulia got there, so they attached his head and Touka filled him in about Leland. So to save the princess Touka made a plan to act as if he had caught 2 high-ranking royal knights to get inside Leland base, by pretending to be Leland's undead man. But as they infiltrated, Yuna was right inside that base and one of Leland's henchmen was about to take her away to kill her, but just as he got closer, Yuna used a magic crystal that she had behind her, and with it she enhanced her powers and beat the hell out of him. Then on her way out she appears at Touka's side by breaking the wall. But first they found Anri, but she was covered in her snot, so Yuna and Touka tries to decide who will free her up with rock paper scissors. Then at the center of that sewer Leland was planning to rip apart the flesh of all the humans present. Leland has a X-ray crystal passed down by his family. But as he used it and saw the outside world, he realized that everyone is the same beneath that human flesh, so why would there be such an upper or lower class system? So he wants to change it by ripping apart all of the human flesh, but he will spare Marguerite because he wants to marry her, and he starts off by cutting off her cloths. But Touka makes his entry but fails to punch him, so Yuna comes in and finished the job, and there Touka got his hands on his X-ray crystal, and right away he used it to see the girls naked. Then Leland run away but Yuna got him, but the place they were in was actually a tomb of many people, so now they are surrounded by his undead army. And to become more powerful he drinks soma drops which multiplies mana, but while other were busy Leland tries to get Marguerite but Isaac saved her. But there Touka made a wall out of his flexible sword to run away, but there were still trails of blood on the way for Leland, but it was all Touka's plan to make him go around in circle. With dropping the color of grapes in order for him to circle the forest, they wonder who Touka is because he can make such an efficient plan in such a short amount of time. 3 years ago, when war broke out between the kingdoms of Harem and Arat, his father took his mother and him to loot on a burned-out city, but they didn't know war would be this ugly. In which his mother was killed and his father ran away, leaving him all alone, so he had to learn how to escape, and after a year he made it back home. It brought tears to their eyes. But there was still the issue of Leland, and Touka wanted to fill up his mana to fight him, and soma drops could do the job, but Leland had already consumed it. So Isaac tells them that Marguerite's body fluids can work just like soma drops. She has the power to fill anyone's mana because her disease creates a concentrated mana inside of her body. And any kind of fluid from her body could work, like her urine, or snot, or tears, but the only problem is that she hasn't cried in over a decade, so tears are out, and she doesn't have a cold. So snot is also out, leaving her urine, which Touka was all ready to drink, but there he realized that Leland is not a true necromancer. So he will have a difficult time controlling all of his undead simultaneously, so Touka came up with a plan to sneak up on him and kill him, but it failed, so for plan B. So he exposed his magic crystal, giving Marguerite a perfect opportunity to destroy it from afar, and now they had Leland under their control. They thought it was all over. But that six-eyes devil comes in with beaten up Cerulia. She was out of commission, and with a laser he even injured Touka fatally, so Yuna moves in to stop that devil so that they can save Touka. But that moment of distraction causes her a serious hit, then the devil proceeds further and even knocks out Anri. So even in that injured state Isaac and Yuna comes forward to hold the devil back so that Marguerite can take Touka away. But then he was counting his last moments, and seeing this Marguerite finally cried out, and with her tears, Touka regained his mana and flesh. But there that perverted idiot made a big thigh to kill that devil, and it turned out the devil was being controlled by someone far away. But after all of this Leland was imprisoned and Isaac took on his job as a director of the orphanage, and their Marguerite also seems to cured from her mana depletion disease. As she cried her heart out in a decade, but their Touka remembered that he had made a last wish when he was about to die, so Marguerite fulfilled his wish by showing stocking she was wearing. It was time to part ways and they got a carriage from the king that runs on mana, and Anri is the only one who has a decent mana to drive the carriage, but on their way. Touka and Yuna and Anri read out Marguerite's heartfelt letter to them, but in the end she told them that there was a gift in the trunk behind. So Yuna thought Marguerite might have stashed herself inside, but Touka thought that princess won't do something so childish. But Marguerite literally did that childish things and later was discovered by them. Afterwards Marguerite starts giving Touka lessons on swordsmanship, and after that an evening. They were about to cook a pigeon for a meal, but Marguerite and stopped them because it was a messenger from Ceruela. In that message they informed them about the devil that they defeated was being remotely controlled and that Leland might be his companion. Their journey lead them to the city of Morin, and there they gets a special treatment as they are VIP. And Marguerite wants Touka to learn etiquette as he would become her future husband. But then he was planning to return back being a farmer once the war ended, and Anri was planning to spend his common life with her, but Marguerite wanted him by her side as well, which led to a tug of war. Marguerite was more curious than Yuna because she knew Touka since she was a child, and the way she follows him, Marguerite thought that Yuna liked him as well. She left the bath out of embarrassment, and their Touka was already peeking at her, and there she snapped again. As she reminded Touka that he never helped even 3 years ago when the gate of Hells was open and devils were attacking the village. In that anger she runs away in her underwear, and in the town many zombies attacked her and bit on her neck and she started to fall numb from it. But their Touka comes there following her as he was worried, but she threw Touka away so that he wouldn't turn into a zombie like her, but Touka didn't want to repeat his past by leaving her alone. So he ran straight for her and their Belarco makes a flashy entrance, but froze due to a sprained ankle. But even with that, Touka manages to bring Yuna back to their place and hide the fact from Marguerite and Anri that Yuna is also bitten and could turn any moment. Belarco brings them to the Lord's mansion where there are still survivors, but seeing the legendary hero everyone gets their hopes up that he will save them. But their Colin saw through them that Yuna was bitten, and this was the perfect opportunity to get his revenge from Yuna, as she had beat the hell out of him back in the prison. He wanted to expose that Yuna was bitten, and their Touka gets really serious to protect her. Seeing this, people started suspecting Yuna, and there she turned into zombie. It confirmed it that Yuna is also a zombie, but Anri quickly took control over her body with necromancer power, and made an excuse that she attacked Touka because she was cold. Then closely inspecting her with the X-ray they saw a spell that is suppressing Yuna's soul, making her a mindless person. But if that's the case, then there's still hope for Yuna, as they could just destroy the spellcaster, but searching for the caster at night would be dangerous, so they moved their plans for tomorrow, and Anri wanted to possess her body to keep Yuna under control, because she can't control her body while she is asleep. Touka points out that if she does possess her body, she won't be able to use her necromancer power, which would be a great loss, so they let Touka possess her and he got what he wanted. Touka always wanted to admire Yuna's thighs, but he can't do that unless he's all alone. Everyone has their own personal room for the night, but Anri and Marguerite comes in to sleep with him and also to ensure that he doesn't do anything weird to Yuna's body. Then at night a devil broke through the wall and zombies finally entered the mansion, having nowhere else to go. The mayor took Touka and his party with Colin and his partner to a secret room on the rooftop. In overconfidence he fires a cannon that no one can climb up to that room, and their Touka combined mana detecting crystal and X-ray crystal to see through that there are 3 devils attacking, and The center one is the spellcast, but then a devil appears right from beneath because that lord had given them location with that cannon fire. So Colin used a body double to spark the lights out of that devil, but it didn't have any effects, and Touka tells Anri to use the holy sword to kill that devil. But she couldn't use it, so Touka showed her that she just needed to imagine it, but Touka wasn't inside the hero's body, so how could he use the holy sword? Because no one other than Shaun could use the holy sword. So what does that indicate, and what is Touka? You will find the answer in our next video, but until then, subscribe to the channel.